Saturn return in the first house. Saturn return in the first house can be a deeply spiritual experience. Because when you have Saturn in the first house, already a huge aspect of what you've learned in your lifetime, what's your karma, is dealing with crap, dealing with nonsense, dealing with picking up responsibility, dealing with picking up the slack, dealing with having to be alone, having to be solitary, having to be the only person sometimes who can see reason. And a lot of frustration along with it, that I can see it and I tell them, and then I'm working hard, but why the hell can't they see it? Okay, that's what Saturn in the first house energy is mostly. And when you have Saturn return going on in the first house, that means the transiting Saturn is transiting over your natal Saturn through the first. You are also actually technically going through what we can say the DEVA, because Saturn, when we look at Saturn Sarisati, we can see it from the moon, but we can also see it from the ascendant. Okay, so Saturn transiting over your ascendant in general is pretty much synonymous, that experience is pretty much synonymous to your DEVA, where Saturn is transiting over your moon. But more so when you have Saturn in the ascendant and Saturn is transiting over that natal Saturn, there can be huge changes in this period in your life depending on what your prior karma is. Now, why does your prior karma dictate so much? Well, if you have never taken proper care of your body, if you have a lot of addictions, if you have a lot of bad habits that you are refusing to sort, refusing to improve, Saturn transiting over your natal Saturn, Saturn in the first house can create 2.5 years of your life where you can get everything from surgeries to health scares to having to go through humiliation, through having to face a lot of scrutiny, resistance, anything like that. But let's say you've been working hard on yourself, you've been working hard on your life, on your skills, on your habits, then Saturn return in the first house can actually catapult you many levels upwards. And let's say you're earning $500 only, although you work very hard, and then most of your friends can see it, your spouse can see it, you also think that, man, I deserve more. But when the hell is that going to happen for me? My life has always been that I've just worked so hard, I don't know if I can even hope for more. And then Saturn return in your first house leads you to take a few tough decisions. And this is where you kind of have to have an open mind, because Saturn teaches you by closing doors. He's not going to guide you and lead you and inspire you towards change. He's not Jupiter. Okay? He's not going to put the aggression within you to fight for and get what you want, because just because you want it, you have to prove a point. He's not Mars. Saturn will teach you by starving, taking away the resources from the area of your life, from your habits, from things that you do that are not working out for you. Okay? I mean, it can even be a situation, let's say, that you're undergoing Saturn return in the first house and you're addicted to caffeine, and it is happening on a routine basis, that you wake up to firefighting in the morning. There are a lot of issues that need to be sorted. There are a lot of things that need to be done. Maybe, just things you have to go to your kids' school. The teacher wants to talk to you about something. Your spouse left something back at home and they're saying, I need it urgently. I have, a meeting, etc. Please, can you get it? And you're just not able to have that morning cup of coffee, and you're doing all of this even before you've had your cup of coffee. So that's what Saturn will do. He will take that away. Show you, dude, enough. Look at where you are. Look at how much you're dependent on these things. So fasting, dieting, working out, meditation, going back to school, upskilling yourself, learning a new art, learning a new skill, running marathons, everything can be seen through this particular Saturn return. And I would say, in fact, that you open up your mind to engaging in these things, because they're going to help you clear out that karma. Because wherever Saturn is, that's where karma is in this lifetime. That's karma, meaning this backwards and forwards karma that you can see from the nodes, south node, north node, right? Where you're coming from, where you're going to go at a spiritual level. But at a physical level, when it is part of your soul contract here to do some difficult work for a particular community, a particular person in your life, a particular area in your life, that is Saturn. You got to do it. Okay? Saturn shows that. When that's in the first house, 80% of your life is dependent on you having the necessary discipline, the necessary structure, the necessary skills, the necessary patience, the necessary fitness, the necessary vision. You have to be the person who is picking up the slack, and you have to just do the best with it. Become the best at what you can become the best at. Okay? You will often see people who have Saturn in the ascendant. I mean, they can be so hardworking people. Like, they can be people in sports and business who they just out survive, you know, everybody else. They have a lot of longevity. Why? Because the basics are great. Saturn return in the first house is going to push you to question and improve these basics of your life. These are the things that if you remedy, if you solve, if you overcome at a personal level, your entire life path is going to change. You have the capability to completely give a new direction to your life when you have Saturn return happening in the first house. Why? Because the first house is also the ascendant. It's also the lens through which we look at a person's life. Okay? We'll keep going more and more into it. You know, I'll keep putting more videos in the series, so stay tuned for more. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel so that you can stay abreast of all the wonderful content that I post here. Push the bell icon so that you can be notified every single time I post. If you want to check out my Astro Life Coaching Practitioner course, the link is given here in the description box. You have to fill up a form. Once we get it, we're going to shortlist profiles. If your profile is shortlisted, because the seats are limited for this course, we're going to reach out back to you and we're going to fix a discovery call. We just talk, you know, before we begin to evaluate if we can be a good fit for the development of this knowledge and the dissemination of the same. Okay? Thank you so much. Take care. Hari Om.